in the morning.
So we are counting down to the big CNN Arizona GOP debate, the last presidential debate before Super Tuesday. Rick Santorum is now clearly the front runner in the GOP race. He's opening up a double-digit lead nationally. This is in the latest Gallup tracking poll. So we're now hearing something new from some key Republicans. He could win this thing. So let's talk to our panelists about this. We have senior contributor, Politics365.com, Lenny McAllister, CNN.com contributor, Dean Obeidallah, and roll call writer, Jonathan Strong. So, Lenny, I want to start with you and this Santorum surge, right? We were talking about Mitt Romney being the inevitable nominee, and now Santorum's ahead in the polls. Let's listen to what Ari Fleischer said last night on AC360, and then we're going to talk about it.
You really think he could get the nomination?
I really do. I'm prepared to say that now. For the first time, I would say that. I've always thought this was an open race. Anything could happen. It was that kind of wild year. But don't underestimate what has happened now with people going to Rick Santorum. And he does need to broaden it. The social issues really do motivate him, and he speaks from the heart.
That's former press secretary for George W. Bush. That's pretty huge. How do you think the GOP feels about that?
They're not too excited about it, but if you look at two states, it tells you exactly why Mr. Fleischer's right. You look at Michigan, where Santorum is beating Romney in the state where Romney grew up. And then you look at Pennsylvania. One of the arguments against Rick Santorum always was, look at how he lost in 2006. He lost by this huge double-digit loss deficit. But now look at Pennsylvania. He's actually winning and has been ahead of Romney for a while in Pennsylvania. If Santorum wins Michigan and can somehow win Pennsylvania later on in this process, you probably will see Rick Santorum ahead of the pack moving into Tampa, and that's something that the Republican establishment absolutely positively does not want to see, but it's headed that way.
Okay, well, Ari said don't underestimate him, but we're going to talk about that, about whether or not they're happy with this choice. Jonathan, I'm going to talk to you about this. There are reports that senior Republicans are nervous about either candidate, and they're circulating plans that show how new candidates could actually enter this race. They're talking about a brokered convention, perhaps a contested convention. 66% of Republicans don't want that. What's the likelihood that any of that will happen?
Well, it's still a long shot, but there is a lot of unease among Republicans about this slate of candidates. If I could just disagree, though, with my fellow panelist on Michigan, for instance, Mitt Romney has made huge progress there in the last couple of days, and the polls are now within the margin of error. And usually the states that, you know, have been big contests where a lot of money has gone into them, Romney has been able to go ahead. So, you know, there's a lot of momentum for Santorum, but I wouldn't put Romney out of this yet.
All right, Dean, there is one person that is pleased by Santorum's success, media mogul Rupert Murdoch. Of course, he owns Fox News. I'm going to put a tweet up that I'd like you to take a look at. From a distance, Santorum doing great. Values really do count in America and not sneered at as in parts of Europe. Win Michigan, game over. So that's my question. Win Michigan, game over? Your thoughts on that?
No, not even close. Let's be honest. You know, it gives momentum to Rick Santorum if he wins Michigan and Arizona. Super Tuesday coming up in a little over a week after that. You're going to have 10 primaries. This is far from over. This is a battle to the end. And Rick Santorum, as his views get known more and more by mainstream Americans, they're going to see he has a major problem. He's on the far right. There are people in the Taliban who would call Rick Santorum a radical conservative almost. I'm not even kidding. He's sincerely, he's far right. He wants to see our laws in the Bible comport or agree, that is. So it's scary. I think it's far from over. I don't think the average American has taken time from the recession and the struggle of their life to focus on this race yet, and that's going to be in the future.
Who is laughing?
I was laughing because, you know, the idea that Santorum is to the right of the Taliban is a little ridiculous. I mean, yeah, the guy's got some polarizing conservative issues, but I think that's overstating it just a bit.
It is slightly overstating, but let's be honest. I mean, the man is against abortion, even in the case of rape, meaning a woman who's raped has to carry a child to term. He's against gay marriage to the point where he will annul it if he's president, meaning everyone who has a gay marriage now legally will be thrown into disarray because their marriage is illegal. He's also against pornography, which I think is anti-American, let's be honest.
All right. I'm going to move on, gentlemen. I'm moving on to my final question here. I think we're going to play by the rules today. I'm not sure. It's a one-name answer. Newt Gingrich gave an interview on the Rich Stevens radio show. So he said that he would want Brad Pitt to play him in a movie. Not because they look alike, but because it's Brad Pitt. So who would you choose to play Newt in a movie? I said I don't want any reasons on this, but it's just a name, but I may want reasons. Lenny, I'm going to start with you.
You know, I was thinking about Anthony Hopkins, somebody that's extremely intelligent but very scary smart. But after
like
Brad
Hannibal
Pitt, I'm
Lecter?
thinking about ladies. Yeah, but then now I'm thinking about the ladies' man. Maybe he should be that after picking Brad Pitt. Maybe it goes back to his philandering past. I don't know about that one.
Ooh, Dean?
I think the Geico lizard would be perfect for Newt Gingrich. You have Newt, you've got some qualities about Newt that I have real problems with. But the Geico lizard is likable, and that actually should be a good positive thing for Newt, because I don't think he's that likable.
Jonathan?
I get a big kick out of the Saturday Night Live parody of Newt, so I forget the name of the actor, but that's a great one.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thanks.
And, of course, do not miss the last presidential debate.